Hi, welcome back to my channel, Scale Model Kit Review Studio. Welcome back to another installment of the DeAgostini build, the 1/6 scale Ford GT500 Mustang. And I said it, 1/6 scale is the largest car out there in the part work realm. So if you haven't done so already, head over to DeAgostini and subscribe to this build today. I put a direct link down below. Click on that link. Lets DeAgostini know you're watching my videos. Let's get started. Welcome back to Scale Model Kit Review Studio. Welcome back to another installment of the DeAgostini Collectibles build, the Ford Mustang. Yes, this is the 1/6 scale Shelby GT500 from 1967. This video I'll be working on pack number 10. Pack number 10 came with stages 39 through 43. Now, each stage comes with a magazine, and the magazine is full of wonderful articles here. And it begins here with the Shelby story. This is police Mustangs, very cool. And I've seen a few of those, mostly pursuit type Mustangs. Definitely will chase you down. Then we have the build instructions, very detailed, close-ups, very easy to follow. Probably one of the easiest kits I built so far. Here we go. And then the Ford story, Ford GT40 concept of 2002. Wonderful article there. And again, very nice there. So I recommend you head over to DeAgostini Collectibles and subscribe to this today. I put a direct link down below. Also, in this pack I did receive the magazine holder. So that's wonderful there. You can put your magazines inside of that. Makes very nice. Now, with your subscription could vary, and you could receive these or not, depending on when you sign up for this. Let's look at the parts that came with this pack. 39, we received parts for the brakes. 40, the rear tire. 41, the rear wheel. 42, rear fender liner. And 43, looks like we received another chassis component. DeAgostini is your discovery partner into a world of hobbies and interest. They create innovative collectible and build-up model series with engaging narratives on the most fascinating subjects. Explore an exclusive universe of collectibles from classic cars and motorsports to movies and video games. Scale models. Enjoy the experience of building step-by-step our exclusive scale model curated by our experts in design with an exceptional standard and accuracy of high level of details. DeAgostini's collectibles and scale models come with a magazine packed with extensive articles, behind-the-scenes material, little-known information, and rare images that will make you a master of the universe you love. DeAgostini as a brand choice, their expertise goes back decades, and they've earned people's trust around the world. So it looks like in this pack we're going to complete the rear chassis area, and I showed you a lot of that already. We're going to skip through showing you, screw installation and all that. If I incur any issues or any problems, I'll show those on video. So 39 is definitely going to be our brake assembly again. We did the brakes on the other side, and that's what that looks like there. So it's the right rear drum and shock absorber. So that's going to go together just like the left side did. Alright, so let me get the parts and I'll be right back. Here's those parts. Let's get a closer look. PS05, PS23. We have our drum again, made of plastic. Very nice. The backing plate made of plastic. The internal workings of the brakes. The shock assembly, the shock mount, and the pin for it. And there you go. This is the top of the shock mounted to the hanger, and note that it is in the same configuration, the angle. pay attention to that. The pin is installed. Now this will go onto the chassis. Mounts up to the chassis, and you can see there's an alignment pin that mounts to. And you can see that nub there that goes down on the alignment pin. That's going to go straight down. Okay, the shock was mounted to the chassis. PSO 5 screw was used on the other side, and then of course the PS23 was used for that. Next, I went ahead and put together the brake assembly. That just those two parts snap together, and here's our drum. So that's all we do with stage 39. Let's head over and get started on stage 40 and 41. And welcome back. We'll go ahead and put the wheel and tire together. Stage 40 deals with the tire, assembling that, and then stage 41 deals with assembling the wheel. Just like we did before in the previous pack. This is the assembly instructions for the rear tire. And lastly, the assembly instructions for the rear wheel. And then that will get mounted onto the axle. Let's look at the parts. Okay, here's the parts for the tire. Here's the parts for the wheel. Let's get a closer look at those parts. Here's a close-up of those parts for stages 40 and 41. On the left are the parts for the tire. And as you can see here, we have the inserts for the tire to make the tire more stable. You definitely want to heat up the tire, boil it in some water for about 2 to 3 minutes, and then you can easily put those inserts inside that tire, lock down those little locking mechanisms that go in between, and then while the tire is still hot, you can go ahead and mess with the rim on the right, which is stage 41. We have an outer and inner rim. We also have the lug nuts, the valve stem, and the center cap. The screws that came with that pack are the DS19 and the DS12 screws. Let's get started. And there you go. It definitely was easier to put this all together while the tire was still warm and very pliable. The inserts went in fantastically, and then you could squeeze it together to get your screws in where they needed to be, and that's how that looks. So I'll go ahead and mount this to the chassis next. That completes stage 40 and 41. The wheel is mounted on there fantastically. Go ahead and put my cap on, and we're good to go. So let's head over and get started on stage 42. Let's work on stage 42, which is the rear fender liner again. Right rear wheel fender. That's what that looks like there. Let me get the parts. I will be right back. And here's that fender liner. And here's that liner, made of plastic, very nice. And DSO2 screws. Let's install this on the chassis. And 3 DSO2 screws were put into it, and it is installed. Looks great. That's all we do with stage 42. Let's head over and do the final stage for this video, stage 43. We're going to work on the intermediate chassis. Stage 43, we're going to install the intermediate chassis, and that's the part there on the left. Going to mount that to the rear part of the chassis, put our screws in, make sure they're all tight and secure. And the seats will actually mount to the intermediate chassis. We'll be doing that a little bit later, but it shows you what that looks like. Let me get the parts, I'll be right back. Very nice here. The chassis is protected with this cardboard box. Let's take it out and see what it looks inside. Wrapped in a kind of a waxy type paper. And there it is. Screws, DSO2 screws, and here's our intermediate chassis made of metal. Very nice. Okay, we're bring over the chassis. We'll line that up. We're going to install the intermediate chassis on the front of the rear chassis. Here's the intermediate chassis. That's going to mount down right there over those two tabs. Notice there's some alignment tabs on the corners, so that's going to go down on that. Now I would recommend you support this very good from the middle, from underneath with your hand while you put your screws in. DSO2 screws will go into this, 4 of them. All 4 DSO2 screws are installed and they are tight. I did use some 3-in-1 oil to tighten those down. It really helps. Let's look to see what the other side looks like. And you can see where the seam is there. Pretty seamless, if you ask me. It looks pretty good. I'll be right back. And there you go. That completes pack 10. We did a lot here. We finished up with the rear suspension, and I think that looks great. Very easy to do. I had no issues whatsoever with this. We also installed the intermediate chassis, so it's really coming along. This is a beast. Look how long this is. This is just like, wow. You see how long this is? 20 inches. So, wow, we haven't even got the front end of the car on yet, and it's already 20 inches long. So if you think you'd like to get this for yourself, head over to DeAgostini Collectibles and sign up for this today. Remember, it's the only 1/6 scale Mustang out there. It's wonderful. I put a direct link in the description below. And I must say, I am enjoying this build. It builds very much the same like the 1/8 scale Mustangs that I built. But this one is more enjoyable because the parts are a little larger, a little easier to handle, and I'm really having a blast doing this. So I do highly recommend this one for you. Even if this is your first one you've ever built, do it. Do this one as your first because it really is an easy one and it's a real joy. With that, I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for pack 11. I have it on hand. I'll be posting that up here real shortly. And if you like my content, please subscribe to my channel and smash that like button, everybody. Happy modeling and take care.